Hello, this is Jensen with Soft Edges, and this is your week ahead reading for the week of December 29th to January 4th, 2025 into 2026. We're at the end and the beginning all at once. There's so much to say. But I guess I'll just say it's been a year. It's been such a year. And I've been really thinking about holding in my heart this year of the fire horse that we're entering and just what that might mean. And yeah, I've just been reflecting a lot about what has had to fall away so that we can gallop with courage forward, right? I'm really holding that in my heart. I am not someone who typically celebrates the calendar new year. It's just not for me. I prefer the lunar new year, but there is something about this new year that I hope brings a little bit of relief. I don't know about you, but I noticed a lot of very tired people during the holidays, which I hope you are doing well after that. You're giving yourself time, space to rest, but you're finding rest is easeful. Yeah, as I was saying, I just noticed a lot of people are really exhausted during the holidays. And I think that if we all can, it'll be so good for us to rest while we can before we enter a new calendar year. I'm looking at the astrology that we have coming up, and I'm a little bit lost for a minute. Hold on one second. Okay, yeah. We have some Mercury squaring Neptune. Is Mercury squaring Saturn too? Whatever. I'll just say that Mercury is squaring Neptune. It moves into Pisces on January 1st, which will be very interesting. I feel like Mercury in Pisces, I know a lot of people with Mercury in Pisces, and they're just have a way of saying things. It's very flowery, and you're kind of like, wait, where are you? Come back, And I'm curious to see how that shows up for us. I wonder too if a lot of the things we're talking about doing for the new year on our vision boards, doing the resolutions with our people, I wonder if a lot of it will be really idealized. I mean, we need that, don't we? We have the Cancer full moon on the 3rd, and I think that will be another emphasis on nourishment and tending to ourselves. Yeah, we'll see what comes up in the cards with that. Yeah, I don't have too much more to say. I'm excited to get into the card reading. I'm using a bunch of decks that I got for the holidays. I'll talk about them in my December wrap up. But for now, I hope you're doing well. Sorry about not having a video last week. It's just been a doozy, hasn't it? I just haven't felt inspired or that I could do something like this. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. We've made it through 2025. Yeah, let's see what we can expect for this last week of the calendar year. And as we enter a new year, the fire horse, are you ready to move forward with courage and strength? I think we are after some rest, but I think we can get there. Thanks so much. All right, here we are. Like I said, I hope that the shadows are not too much. I do have a few charms that I'll pull later in the reading. I'm kind of excited to incorporate charms. I loved it last time. But let's just start with what we're looking at here. The Hanged Man reverse with the Teacher is really, really, really interesting. Right now, what I'm noticing off the bat is this young person. And then we have these older, wiser people. And I see he's has his toes dipped in the cosmos. This really relates to something I'd said earlier in the introduction about the need for deep rest. He's sleeping, he's hanging on, but to what? I don't know. There's something really cleansing in this. And in the upright, it would talk about just this like this enlightenment or this shift in perspective. In the reverse, I'm still getting that, except there's something different happening. Instead of like having your toes dipped in the cosmos, there's something more about us being like dumped back into this like cosmic energy this week. Very interesting. With the teacher's card as well, we have the hawk or the falcon, we have owl, we have these like what would be like elders, wise people. We have these shells and the eggs. This reminds me so much of the Cancer full moon, because Cancer rules the ocean. Well, maybe it's Pisces rules the ocean, but like Cancer always reminds me of like the crab, which reminds me of the ocean, which reminds me of like primordial waters, the ways we're connected to our ancestors. I wonder if there's a message here around connecting to both like embodied, so people you know now or could find now, teachers. Like, okay, what I'm hearing right now is how can you, like, there's something about being like poured out a little bit. Like, how can you just like pour out all of the patterns, all of the ways you've been, showing up, all the exhaustion from the last year? How can you pour out the experience of life up until now, but especially 2025? That's been like, it's been a year, And with the teacher's card, there's something about like, how can you find a teacher to talk to you about, or like, is this someone who is like an angel, or is this like a spirit guide? There's something around. And also it's reiterated with the Hierophant as well. So I'm going to say that this is an embodied person. And maybe what is it like to step into the new year and find someone who can help you transmute, move through, better work in your experiences up until now. That's a big theme to start the week off with. Or the big overall energy, I should say. We're starting the week off actually with the Seven of Swords, and I'm getting a big piece about trust here. Like, this deck is the story of this person and her becoming a witch, I believe. And so how do I interpret like the image that's happening? Like, it looks like she is just so willing to offer what she has to this person who already has enough. Again, it talks about like pouring out, like you can't pour into an empty cup. So something that's strange too is I'm kind of getting a message about like a lie that's been told that maybe is held within your family or with your found family. Like, there's some untruth. There's an untruth or a misunderstanding of some kind at the beginning of the week. And you may like step in to help someone or something, but you're helping them based on something that's not factual. And so what the divine in me says as like the bridge into, because there's something about like noticing that you've been bamboozled, like you chose an interesting path. Like, the divine in me says, I see like this person who is balancing two things. And here again, we have with the Lovers of balancing things, right? The Lover is ruled by Gemini. It could be taking two paths. And about taking paths, I'm also noticing like, will this person, this is a path, right? Will this person like continue to reach to this sword or take what's being offered to them? Like, maybe this is just like an old familial pattern of some kind or a way of thinking. And it'll be really easy for us to want to like lean in and grab this old thought pattern because it's swords, but there's something being offered here. And I think we're still sitting with what decision to make as we move, like, what will we accept as our new truth? The divine in me says, let me read this guidebook. Yeah, it talks about this as an invitation for profound introspection and a tuning in to trust. Oh my gosh, so perfect. You are completely supported and not alone. It talks about listening to the divine and being able to like tap into this inner vitality, this inner wisdom. Again, the same fire within that supports us later in the week. And we might not feel our fire in the beginning of the week, but just trusting that it's in there and that when the time is right, we will know how and when to move forward. So with the Lovers and the hanged man, there is a steely energy again. There is a tricksy energy this week. There is something, I'm hearing deception. Like Like, even look how like sneaky this energy looks. The beginning of the week is like a deceptive energy. It's going to be really important for us to be able to go within. And again, I keep saying this, like, rest, take care of yourself. And maybe again, this is talking about like the teacher. What if the teacher is one of two things or both things? What if a teacher is like an actual physical person, but a teacher is also an experience where you come to see the truth? I'm curious about like what heat this brings up in you. And I'm not getting like anger, but I'm getting some just like, what do I do with this information, this like emotion that's been come up in me because of whatever the situation is at the beginning and middle of the week? I am getting there's something really powerful here about whatever the situation brings up between you and this person, and you like reflect on who and how is the relationship, whether that's like a friendship or an interaction or like a business relationship. How is the relationship either like evolving, transforming, and like where it's bringing up, like, let's think of themes of just this lion with the fire. It is passion and courage and strength. Like, is there something in this situation or in this partnership that is really worth reflecting on? Oh, I'm supposed to move through this with this person or without. You get to decide. And again, here's the decision again. So like if lovers is the path and it's two choices, we have the hanged man who's picking these two. I get a sense he doesn't get both, you know? So yeah, midweek, we are like still in this like truth unfolding situation, and it's big. It's like, and the reason why I say it's big is because our whole spread is filled with major arcana. Like, this is a big life situation meant to teach you something important at this time. And I'm hearing right now, it's really important, especially because of the way I've set the cards up. And like most of the time, I don't know why I'm doing this way, and I'm just being guided. And the Hierophant, this high and this close to teacher, really invites us to know, or to reflect on our inner wise person, the people we trust. It makes us think about dogma. Like, are we too rigid with something? The Hierophant is ruled by Taurus, and Taurus values stability and is really grounded. But sometimes it can be dogmatic in the way that it interacts with something, whether that's a person or a thing or hobby, a teaching of some kind, religion. And I get a sense that there's a little bit of instability here. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at this Two of Pentacles card above the with the Hierophant above, makes me think of, are we out of balance in some way in our lives that the situation just kind of like brought to light? Like, this is going to be an interesting week. I'm like, this feels like a whole reading, not a week reading, but this is what's coming through. So we're going to roll with it. But there's really something about this noticing where you've been out of balance. Where have you been putting someone or something on a pedestal? Because again, there's this box with secrets. What is this, you guys? What is this? Secrets. I wonder if it gets unlocked. I wonder if it gets revealed this week. Like, and even like, I feel like, how do I say this? When I mean unlocked and revealed, will the whole truth be revealed? There's something about this Two of Pentacles card that makes me think of, again, if we're, I'm really being drawn to the generosity of this like witch character in this deck. Like, here she's offering this person her idea, her wisdom, whatever this sword of truth is. And here she is again being generous with her resources because it's Pentacles and helping someone. I wonder if in the reverse, because I'm really drawn to this old tire that's like bound in some ways. I wonder if this is like a little bit of like the straw that breaks the camel's back, where you realize you've been giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and maybe not necessarily getting back what you've been putting into something. And I'm coming back to maybe it's something that you've been really dogmatic about or really invested in. Like, is it a religious practice? Is it a person? Is it a teacher, you know? So interesting. Oh, I just want to see if there's anything else coming through. I'm going to look up the fire within. Wow, so interesting. So it talks about expansion begins with recognizing the fire inside. Later on in the write-up, it talks about the act of opening a door is medicine itself. Your flame holds your truth, your resistance, your joy. Let it lead you towards what calls deep within you. From deep within you, you are supported, you are powerful. Lots of messages of like whatever this disclosure thing is, that it is, there's a big lesson in this for you and that you have everything you need to navigate it. And just like hold that in your heart. I'm just going to see if there's any like little charms that want to come out and where that falls. Okay. Oop, sorry. So we've got the poinsettia. Let's see if it, yes, there's a poinsettia and the bone on the Lovers. And whenever I get the bone, I really think about like this deep knowing, like, you know, a knowing in your bone. It's also making me think of hollow bone, like to hold space in a way without feeling too attached. So on the Lovers card, it's making me think a little bit to like, how can we not be so attached to an outcome? How can we not be so attached to someone else's emotions that it really could be influencing a situation? The poinsettia is kind of perfect for this reading because, I mean, don't quote me. Don't quote me on what I'm about to say, but I think when I read the little card for this charm, it talked about that the poinsettia was started out white and then like the blood of Jesus, sorry for this, whatever. But like, again, do not quote me on biblical stories, but the blood of Jesus was like spilt. So it started out like this pure white and then it turned to red, and just basically the symbolism being of like life, death, rebirth. So what can be grown? What can be go from one version to another version that is just as true, just as beautiful, just as medicinal is the word that's coming in, just as valuable as what it was before, whether that's the relationship, the interaction, I don't know. There's just something here about this. So again, this talks about life, death, rebirth, cycle on the Lovers. So just a transition of this relationship. And can you go through all of those cycles? As someone sharing with you their truth and you theirs, can you just hold a hollow bone to be like, this, it's okay that I don't agree with what they're saying. This is their truth, and both of our truths are right? Especially if there's been a situation where it hasn't been so truthful. We also have this little happy, lucky man on the Hanged Man, and I kind of love that because it tells me that this errs on the side of good fortune, right? Which I honestly think that after this reading, we kind of need a little hope, to me, because this feels a little bit challenging, you know? Yeah, it's telling me that like I'm getting the image of like this little guy up here, like holding something for this being, you know, they're kind of similar looking too, to be honest. So funny. There's just something about like a being, maybe again, it's this connection, this like teacher holding something for you so that you're able to like dip your toes, dip into something. Hope. How's that? Because here we have the star, right? And it's just like the moon makes me think of our unconscious. Yeah, lots going on this week. Long reading. Yeah, let me know how this resonates with you. Good luck. I hope you have a safe and healthy holiday and Happy New Year. I will see you on the other side. I have a couple upcoming videos doing the December wrap up. I will do some deck walkthroughs for some of the new decks I've got. And yeah, thanks again for being here. Good luck, and I'll see you on the other side.